are you feeling, Laura?
All right.
You're going to have to speak up a little, Laura. We can't hear you very well.
I'm sorry.
We're going to make this as easy as possible, Laura. Now, I want you to think about your answers very carefully before you give them. Because what you're giving here is a sworn statement that could be used against you in court in case there's a trial or if the district attorney brings charges. Everything you say will be put down on a tape recorder. Do you understand?
Yeah, I think so.
Laura, louder, please.
I'm sorry.
Would you state your name, please?
Laura Weber. I'm sorry. Laura Weber Baldwin.
And you're making this statement voluntarily and in the presence of your attorney, Lee Baldwin?
Yes.
Fine. Now, Laura, could you tell us when you first knew that Frank Smith was the head of the criminal organization here in Port Charles?
The truth, Laura. You have to tell the truth now.
A year. I've known for almost a year now.
Well, how did you find out?
I was trapped in the office closet in the disco, and I overheard Frank Smith talking about the organization and what kind of power it had.
I don't understand. You knew that long ago, and yet you never went to the police or to your father or to Lee Baldwin?
I wanted to. I tried to. I even picked up the telephone one day to call the FBI. They had a tap on my telephone. I didn't know if they were going to come after me or Scotty or Lee or my parents. I knew that Frank Smith had the power to order people killed if he wanted to.
Laura, did you go away with Luke Spencer this summer willingly, or did he force you to accompany him? What I'm asking you is if he kidnapped you.
No. He didn't kidnap me. I went willingly.
Get off my back, Howard. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell it exactly as it happened.
And you're going to wind up in prison.
Que sera, sera, huh?
Luke, you're not talking sense. I'll be right back. I got to see Captain Ramsey. Don't go anywhere.
I heard what you did to that guy. Unfortunately, the report is that he'll survive. Thank you for bringing her home. I know you must have gone through hell.
You don't know what we've been through.
No, I'm sure nobody could.
She's very vulnerable right now.
I know, Luke.
I guess I just didn't realize how much she needed to come back to your world.
A lot of things unsaid between us.
Let's leave it that way.
You really think it's best?
Laura will tell you exactly what she needs to tell you about this summer. All I can say is that I wish her and Scott all the luck in the world.
Luke.
This is outrageous. I cooperated with Captain Ramsey, gave him a statement. I'm still being treated like a common criminal.
Oh, no, sir. There's nothing common about you, Mr. Smith. You're way out of the ordinary.
Spare me of sarcasm, young man.
Here, you can wipe your hands off with this.
Look, will you cool it? I don't want to hear any more from you guys. All right, will you wait outside? Will you wait outside?
We're going to stop meeting like this, Frank.
I'm sorry to see you're still alive.
Bet you are.
You're going to regret what you've done, Spencer. One day you're going to regret it with all your heart, I promise you.
Will I?
You better pray that you go to prison and that they give you a very safe cell, because someday somebody from the organization may just try and get in touch with you. Make quite sure they lock your cell at night.
Gee, maybe we'll rate adjoining cells. Maybe somebody will get both of us. Because I got a feeling if the state doesn't kill you, one of your friends is going to be happy to do it. Or any of the other legion of people who hate your guts. If you'll excuse me, I have to make a statement for the police. And if I were you, I'd start sweating right now, sir, because my statement's going to be a beauty.
It's coming in there.
Excuse me.
First time you get it, make sure.
Now, Laura, would you mind telling me why you went away willingly with the man who had raped you? It was Luke Spencer who raped you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, then what I'm asking you is, in view of that, why did you decide to go away with him?
He needed me. I don't suppose you'll understand that. That is the reason, though.
Well, what I don't understand is how the two of you got together. Was this a pre-arranged meeting?
No. No, it was nothing like that. On the wedding day, I followed Scotty down to the docks because I knew that Scotty was going to try to kill Luke. And as I was running along, Luke came up out of the water almost at my feet. And he was frantic. He told me about the fight on the yacht. And he said that he had to escape before Frank Smith's men caught him and killed him.
After Scotty knocked him overboard, he must have started swimming underwater.
Apparently. Did Luke tell you why Smith's men were looking for him?
Yes. Luke had tried to force Smith to sign some sort of premarital agreement, but Smith wouldn't do it. So Luke said that while everyone thought he was dead, that he had to go into Smith's office and steal the black book so that he could prove the charges that he wanted to bring against Smith, and he couldn't do it alone. His clothes were a mess, and he needed me, so I couldn't desert him.
So you went along with him?
Yeah.
Tell me, Laura, were you and Luke in Wyndham's department store?
Yes, we were. We hid out there one day when we thought that the police had spotted us. And we stayed after closing because we didn't have any place to sleep that night. And we thought we'd be safe there. And I got a black wig and some clothes. Luke got some clothes and some shoes. We didn't steal anything, though. We left money. We didn't steal.
That explains the money that was found there. We never did quite figure where it came from. What about the night watchman?
We didn't see him until the next morning.
Did you know he'd been killed?
No, not until I almost fell over his body when we were leaving. It wasn't until then that we realized that the killer had been in the store with us all night.
The killer? You don't know who it was?
We found out later on.
Who was it?
It was Hutch. His last name is Hutchins. But we didn't know that, not for a long time afterwards.